The ancient Egyptians had many different ideas about who or what had created the world. But all of the theories began with the sea. The dark, watery depths of the sea were all that there was. It is impossible to say when, because time had not yet begun. But one day, the sun was born. The Egyptians called this day the first moment. Some believed that a huge blue lotus flower had floated across the ocean and unfurled its petals to reveal a baby who cast bright rays out over the whole world. They named the child Atum, the sun and also the creator of the world. Atum was neither male nor female and had one extremely powerful, all-seeing eye. They had been living all alone at the bottom of the sea before time began. Using this loneliness as building blocks, Atum made Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. Shu and Tefnut grew in Atum's mouth, and when they were ready to be born, Atum spat them out into the world. There was another story that said that Shu and Tefnut had been born under even more mysterious circumstances. The sea in which the world began had a name: Ptah. There were no humans yet to see Ptah, but if there had been, they would have seen a man, much smaller than most, with green skin, a long beard, and legs that pointed in opposite directions. Ptah could do extraordinary things. He could bring the whole world into existence by willing it with his heart and speaking it out loud. And so Ptah, some believed, spoke the names of Shu and Tefnut, and they existed. Then he spoke the names of 8 other gods, and they existed too. The 8 gods helped Ptah to organize the universe. They were paired together, and each pair represented one of fluidity, darkness, the infinite, and rest. Shu and Tefnut went on to have 2 children, Geb and Nut. Geb was the god of the earth, whose laughter created earthquakes and who was known as the father of the snakes. Nut was the goddess of the stars in the night sky, and carried a ladder with her wherever she went so that she could go up into the sky whenever she needed to. Nut and Geb were the parents of Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys, and it's from them that all of the other Egyptian gods descended. Humans were an afterthought for both Ptah and Atum. In fact, the existence of humans was entirely accidental. Many centuries passed and the world thrived in perfect harmony without any humans at all. But as Shu and Tefnut grew older, many centuries older, though they didn't look different since gods age much less quickly than humans, they began to be curious about the depths of the ocean that surrounded them. Shu and Tefnut went off one day to explore the ocean and never returned. They disappeared into its darkness, and although Atum searched throughout the watery world for them, they could not be found anywhere. Eventually, Atum sent their one eye throughout the whole world to look for the pair. Desperately sad to have lost their only children, Atum began to cry. From each one of the tears Atum cried, a human sprouted. Eventually, the eye found Shu and Tefnut, and Atum was so happy that they cried all over again. Only this time, it was gods and goddesses that came from each teardrop, not humans. Although the humans had come into existence by accident, they never stopped thanking the gods and goddesses for the gift of life. They prayed exactly as Ptah told them to, and they built enormous temples to worship the deities who had made the world and put them in it. The Egyptians had a special relationship with the sun god, who they called by different names: Atum, the sun who gave life to everything; Ra, the god of the midday brightness; and Horus, the god of its setting and rising. The Egyptians imagined that the sun was carried on a ship across the ocean. Just as the sun rises from the ocean in the morning and sinks back under it in the evening, they believed the world too had risen from the depths of the sea and would one day be returned to watery darkness again.